because together we evolve. Together we may learn something.
People and groups, and that's awesome. I'm excited.
All right, as we're heading to the finish line here, maybe it's kind of a heartfelt question, but it's what are you most passionate about doing these days, and who do you love to work with? What's your drive? What's your passion? And who's your ideal person to be doing things with, doing your business with? Gresh, I'll go to you, and then we'll come to Jason.
I would definitely say outside of my family, me and my wife just we have what will soon be a one year old. So, that's been a passion of all things, just seeing him progress. And a lot of times you remember like kind of the journey and everything like that as you kind of go through that. I think I'm really passionate around entrepreneurship. Like I mentioned, I started to do a lot of like franchise brokering and helping people find franchise opportunities. And the reason I kind of love that because I'm passionate around around entrepreneurship, haven't delved down as much into like franchising as an opportunity. So I really like to, at the heart of like why I started the podcast, why I made it a daily podcast, is I wanted to paint a broad brush and a holistic brush on what it means to be a CEO, entrepreneur, and business owner. People say it's this once they hear that. I wanted to kind of debunk that. And the way that I try to debunk that is by having different types of people on the show at different sizes, different stages. And I feel like that paints a broad brush on what entrepreneurship and being a CEO, entrepreneur, and business owner can look like. So I think I'm really passionate around those stories that people tell that are outside of the box, that are unique, are different ways to run a business. You have two people that run the exact same business or exact same services and do it in different ways, but they do it because this person had this happen to them when they were 10 years old, and that changed their trajectory completely versus another person that worked in corporate for 20, 30 years and they run their business in an entirely different way. So I get excited to buy things like that. And I think that when I can share at least, at the very least, a piece of that, that really helps out as far as like saying, hey, I'm not like this person, but I'm like that person. So maybe I could start a business or I could think about it or I could do a side hustle, whatever that might be. So I think that's what I'm really passionate around is like the more that I can learn around entrepreneurship and business and get to kind of share that with people as an opportunity for hope and to solve whatever problems there might be. That's what really kind of lights me up more than anything else.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, it's like I think there's an entrepreneur inside of all of us in some ways. Like we're leaders in our own lives, whether we're working for a corporation or not. But like that's been part of my drive too, is to have the courage sometimes to go out and do the thing that's in your heart, and like not shy away from it, to lean into it, and that's not easy sometimes. So I think
Yeah.
you're providing a good space for people to be able to explore that. How do people contact you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, to make it easy, I have a site, imgresh.com, imgresh.com, has links to the podcast, links to blogs, all the busybody things that I have going on, so you can find it there.
Amazing. All right. Jason, over to you. What are you passionate about? Who do you love working with?
Yeah, certainly. Oh, well, on the personal side too, certainly just spending as much time with my three boys as possible is always that's the juice and the fun. On a professional side, I I'm starting to get back to my connecting roots, which is fun. So on my main service as what I call building market gravity for my clients. So a show is a piece of that, but some other media elements as well. Those ideal folks are the coaches, consultants out there who have this authority. They've got this amazing way that they're changing lives and just not enough people seeing them. That common thread is my clients love me once they know me and they have a conversation and they work with. I'm just not in front of enough people. And that's a passion project there in the sense of from dear friends who are in those roles to people I meet every day. That's the fun to be able to get that attention for those folks. And then at the same time, also what's reigniting is this connection path. So back in the Dallas days, or along the same time, but like a decade ago when I was starting the show, I transformed myself into this connector person. Like, oh, you got to meet this person, you got to do this. And that just lit me up. And since moved out here right at 2020 and left my network of folks and all of that. And I really that piece of me kind of atrophied a little bit in the last couple of months. That's been reigniting. And so I've been putting things in place to really get purposeful with being that connector, that referral partner again, and connecting those folks. So those are the things that are lighting me up.
I think it ties into I think what Gresh said and just but I think it's such a challenge because there's so many good people with talent and ability and like the challenge is how do they get marketed? How do they get in front of more people that they can impact? Because that's what their heart wants to do. And then we sometimes as entrepreneurs struggle because now we got to wear 25 different hats to do the thing that we love to do with the people we want to do it with more. And so I think it's a valuable resource that you provide that if people can understand it and employ it, it can put them in front of more of the people and have them being able to do what's on their heart more often and oftentimes in a more valuable and voluminous way. So that's cool. How do people get in touch with you, Jason?
Similar to Gresh, I've got a easy site, thejasoncroft.com. Mine's a little more obnoxious, thejasoncroft.com. Site there talks about my stuff, leads off to media leads, the company, the shows I'm doing, all that fun stuff.
Amazing. All right. Final comment from both of you. How was this experience for you? And what's like one word of wisdom, something that you often say, that's something that's either a lesson you've learned or just a phrase or a motto you live by. So how was this conversation? And then what's one thing you just that you kind of like a mantra or something like that? Gresh, over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this conversation. It's funny when David and I first chatted, I was like midway into scarfing down my lunch. And I'm so happy that we got a chance to kind of chat a little bit. And you couldn't see me while I was scarfing down my lunch. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that this opened up this opportunity because I think it was a phenomenal conversation. And I love like sharing as much as possible. Again, to share the mic with both of you guys has been absolutely awesome. And leave everybody with something that I kind of leaned on when I first started my marketing business that I say to myself over and over again and still do is don't tell me the sky is the limit when there's footprints on the moon. I don't know who actually said it. So if you don't know either, just say it's me. And at the end of the day, I think there's so many people that say you can't do something, it's impossible, it's never been done before. So I think whether we're talking about a podcast, a business venture, a book, whatever it might be, lean into that. You don't have to put everything on black or sell the farm in order for you to get to where you want to be. Sometimes you can test it out on a small level, but try to do that. And there's not enough people, I think, cheering people on saying, hey, you can do that. So I want to be that person to do that. So don't let people tell you the sky is the limit when there's footprints on the moon.
That's a good one. Don't tell me sky's the limit when there are footprints on the moon. Awesome. Jason, what do you got? Final words.
Yeah, such a blast, this conversation. You've done a phenomenal job, David, bringing us together and steering this whole conversation. It's been wonderful. I don't really have the genius sayings like Gresh has there at all. I have a common thread, certainly, that has driven my life and I encourage others to lean into, which is this idea of connection, right? Everything comes from a conversation ultimately. Even when you're in this B2B space, we're all humans making these decisions and then connecting and all of that. And I'm biased because for whatever reason, the idea of that lights me up like crazy. And, that's oxygen for me. And I understand some people aren't wired that way. And it's like, I just want to sit down and do my thing. But there is such power when you can lean into, let me get to know this person a little more. What can I do? And then realize and let in that it is a skill to learn. And it's not, oh, I'm not that kind of person, or I'm this kind of, if you, to Gresh's point, you can do what you want to do. And it is a skill to be a better connector, a better podcaster. It takes the reps, like we were talking about earlier, but also just this intention. And people, I think, get a little, it feels weird to think that, oh, I can do certain things to be more charismatic or to connect with people better. But it is, yes, we can do things maybe it's a little more natural than others, but they're all skills to get better, to learn, and ultimately to make that connection better and easier.
Yeah, I think that's such an important, it's one I come back to a lot as well, is like, can we just be sometimes we feel like we need to be somebody else or be a different version of ourselves, when sometimes the deepest connections, if not always, are when we're just being ourselves. And oftentimes the people that want to hear what we have to say are the people that are hearing us as our authentic. Like, it's going to attract the people that we actually want to be doing business with or talking to or being in relationship with. If we're given a fake version, we're going to have fake relationships in some ways, because they're just going to be connecting with us on the level of whatever we put in front of them. So that's important too. Good point. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to call it a wrap. Thank you both for being here. The one reflection I have is it's refreshing to be with uh, two incredible people who communicate really well, who are in this game of podcasting, because it just has a different flair and flavor of conversation. So it's been refreshing to be chewing on some of your wisdom and also just bouncing off one another. It's been nice for me. So thank you. Thank you for that.